Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. PM Modi inaugurates Emerging Science and Technology Innovation Conclave. Says India no longer consumer of technology but a pioneer in technology-driven transformation. Hails India's quantum leap in technology. India's support for Gaza peace plan reiterated during meeting of foreign ministers of both India and Bahrain. Both leaders reaffirm economic cooperation. China refutes US nuke test charges after Trump says Beijing among those to have conducted tests unknown to public. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Emerging Science, Technology and Innovation Conclave 2025 at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi on Monday. Being held from 3rd to 5th of November, the event brings together 3,000 participants from academia, research institutions, industry and government, along with Nobel laureates and eminent scientists. Deliberations focus on 11 thematic areas, including advanced material and manufacturing, artificial intelligence, blue economy and more. During the event, Prime Minister released a vision document and a coffee table book. In a major boost to research and development, PM Modi also launched 1 lakh crore rupees Research Development and Innovation Scheme Fund. The scheme aims to promote a private sector-driven research and development ecosystem in the country. Prime Minister emphasized that efforts are being made to promote research and development in the private sector as well.
हमारा प्रयास है कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर में भी रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट को बढ़ावा मिले। पहली बार हाई रिस्क और हाई इंपैक्ट प्रोजेक्ट के लिए कैपिटल भी उपलब्ध कराई जा रही है। साथियों, भारत में इनोवेशंस का आधुनिक इकोसिस्टम बने, इसके लिए हम ईज ऑफ डूइंग रिसर्च पर भी फोकस कर रहे हैं। इस दिशा में हमारी सरकार ने फाइनेंशियल रूल्स और प्रोक्योरमेंट पॉलिसी में भी कई रिफॉर्म्स किए हैं।
PM observed that whenever India's space missions are discussed globally, Indian women scientists receive significant recognition.
पेटेंट फाइलिंग में भी भारत में महिलाओं द्वारा सालाना फील्ड पेटेंट्स की संख्या 1 दशक पहले 100 से भी कम थी। अब ये सालाना 5,000 से भी ज्यादा तक पहुंच गई है। स्टेम एजुकेशन में भी महिलाओं का शेयर करीब 43% है, जो कि ग्लोबल एवरेज से भी ज्यादा है।
Another historic feat achieved on Sunday was in the world of science and technology. On Sunday, Indian scientists successfully launched India's heaviest communication satellite CMS-03 from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. This state-of-the-art satellite will strengthen the Indian Navy's space-based communication network and will enhance maritime domain awareness. PM Modi extended his heartfelt congratulations to all the scientists involved in the mission, and he said that India's space sector has become synonymous with excellence and innovation.
कल भारत ने साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी की दुनिया में भी अपना परचम लहराया है। कल भारत के वैज्ञानिकों ने भारत की सबसे हैवी कम्युनिकेशन सैटेलाइट को सफलतापूर्वक लॉन्च किया है। मैं इस मिशन से जुड़े सभी वैज्ञानिकों को इसरो की भी बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated Emerging Science and Technology Innovation Conclave 2025 at Bharat Mandapam and launched the ₹1 lakh crore Research, Development and Innovation Scheme Fund. Nobel laureate Andre Geim also attended the event aimed at strengthening India's scientific and technological capabilities. DD India spoke exclusively with Professor Geim on the scientific progress in the last decade and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's role in pushing India's tech revolution.
We are in New Delhi right now at the Emerging Science and Technology and Innovation Conclave, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi not only inaugurated the conclave but also motivated the country to take up more steps as far as India's science and technology sector is concerned. And with us we have a special guest, Nobel laureate Professor Andre Geim with us. Sir, thank you so much for speaking with us. First of all, my question is about the progress that India has made in the recent years as far as innovation is concerned, science and technology. What have you noticed? How would you rate India's progress in science and technology so far, at least in the last 1 decade?
I have been in India several times, and probably first time it was 15 years ago. Since then I have seen a dramatic progress. It's not only in medicine or in digital technology, which all the world knows about, but I see how the roads has changed during the last decade, how cleaner and more prosperous India has become. And of course we know that without science and technology there would be no progress. So today's conference shows the dedication of the Indian government to support this progress, to invest at the very basic of the pyramid all our prosperity is based on, and this is of course science and technology.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's role in pushing these reforms in a country like India? How do you see his role as the Prime Minister? And he has been pushing, the progress in science and technology and all the other areas of research and development, from digital technology to defense and all other sectors. How do you view his role?
It's the first time I met Prime Minister Modi. I don't know him personally. I was very impressed how personally he addresses the audience. He really a great speaker, orator, essentially. But what I also see from international newspapers, from his speeches which go into the West, that he is kind of a person who seems to be defending not only India but the rest of the world against bullies and their sycophants.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you.
So that was Nobel laureate Andre Geim with us talking about the progress that India has made in the last 1 decade, especially when it comes to research, when it comes to innovation, science and technology, and the role of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in pushing these reforms in our country of 1.4 billion people. With camera person Doordarshan, DD India.
A Centre for Bay of Bengal Studies was established today in Shillong under the think tank Asian Confluence to provide research, dialogue and stakeholders collaboration about larger Bay of Bengal region. Ambassador Indra Mani Pandey, Secretary General BIMSTEC and former Minister of State for External Affairs Rajkumar Ranjan Singh inaugurated the centre. On this occasion, DD India's Sarang held an exclusive interaction with the Secretary General of BIMSTEC. Let's listen in.
Can BIMSTEC emerge for India an alternative for SAARC, especially because BIMSTEC has an advantage of connectivity to Indo-Pacific and also connectivity to Southeast Asian countries through Bay of Bengal and absence of a problematic member.
When it was conceived in 1997, it was conceived as an organization that will bring the two regions of Asia together, and that's the role it has taken forward by engaging in cooperation on a number of sectors on its agenda, by establishing institutions which can take forward that cooperation, by negotiating agreements and conventions. When we look at Indo-Pacific, we are talking about a vast region. Then when we look at different geographical parts of Indo-Pacific, then we find that Bay of Bengal is almost at the center of Indo-Pacific. And as you mentioned at the beginning, it's a very strategically important region for India and for the member states around Bay of Bengal. BIMSTEC signifies that there is a convergence in the interest of India and other 6 member states when it comes to enhancing security or taking forward the agenda of sustainable and resilient development. So BIMSTEC has a very important role to play because it's like a confluence of India's Act East policy, India's neighborhood first policy, India's approach to Indo-Pacific as signified in Sagar, and recently Honorable Prime Minister coined Mahasagar concept. So it's a confluence of all the 3 strands of India's foreign policy.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Bahrain's Foreign Minister Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani in New Delhi, who is on a 2-day visit to India. Both the leaders co-chaired the 5th India-Bahrain High Joint Commission meeting at Hyderabad House today. Delivering his opening remarks at the meeting, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar reiterated India's support for the Gaza peace plan, hoping for a lasting and durable solution.
We have also seen a steady growth of bilateral trade and investment between our countries. We welcome investors from Bahrain to come and explore investment opportunities in India, conclusion of a bilateral investment treaty, and the establishment of a joint working group on trade and investment will further boost our economic ties. We are working on various initiatives to strengthen our cooperation in the field of healthcare. Our space agencies are also making progress for deepening their collaboration. We have a vibrant cooperation in area of culture, strong people-to-people ties. Earlier this year, we launched the electronic visa system for Bahraini nationals. This, I hope, will encourage more visitors from Bahrain. I take the opportunity to reiterate our support for the Gaza peace plan, which we hope will lead to a lasting and durable solution.
Bahrain Foreign Minister said that India continues to be one of Bahrain's primary trading partners, and both nations recognize that economic cooperation is essential for promoting peace.
Our rich historical ties extends back nearly 5,000 years, rooted in trade and cultural exchange between the ancient civilizations of Dilmun and the Indus Valley. Today, these economic links remain central to our relationship, which has flourished across various fields. India continues to be one of Bahrain's primary trading partners, and both our nations recognize that economic cooperation and interdependence are essential for promoting peace, stability, and shared prosperity.
In a horrific road accident in South India's Telangana's Ranga Reddy district, 19 people were killed when a Telangana State Road Transport Corporation bus collided with a lorry near Mirzaguda, Tandoor on Monday morning. The Chief Minister's office confirmed that 24 others who were injured are receiving treatment in local hospitals. Rescue operations have concluded and investigations are underway to ascertain the cause of the incident, and authorities are verifying victim identities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced Rs 2 lakh ex gratia from PM's National Relief Fund for each deceased kin and Rs 50,000 for the injured. Prime Minister's office on social media platform X said, and I quote, "The loss of lives due to a mishap in the Ranga Reddy district of Telangana is deeply saddening. My thoughts are with the affected people and their families during this difficult time, praying for the speedy recovery of the injured. An ex gratia of Rs 2 lakh from PM NRF would be given to the next of kin of each deceased. The injured would be given Rs 50,000. The two-day 17th GRIHA summit was held today at the India Habitat Centre in Delhi. Distinguished guests, including the Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, were present at the event. DD India's Ankit Mishra deep dives into what happened in this important summit.
The two-day 17th GRIHA summit will continue until November 4th with various sessions. Private and commercial buildings built in an environmentally friendly manner were honored at the event.
This is a wonderful event which is converging a lot of energy of invention, industry with institutions and academic practice. So this is very inspiring because it recognizes how we can innovate, how that innovation can be implemented, and also acknowledging the winners. So this inspires a whole lot of others to emulate.
By honoring those doing good work in the environmental field, they were also encouraged to ensure better participation in the country.
This is 2 days summit which is mainly focused for environmental, sustainable, private and commercial construction. We are talking about the GRIHA as a stand for. The GRIHA as a stand for Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment with camera person Jagdev Ankit Mishra for DD India.
Let's take a look at other stories making news. Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth University in Varanasi is organizing a 2-week course on Russian character in the mirror of the language. The course will be conducted by a teacher from Minin University, Russia, Igorevna. This course is free and students from other faculties and departments of the university are participating. Indian naval ship Savitri arrived at Port Louis, Mauritius as part of a long-range operational deployment to the southwest Indian Ocean region. The ship received a warm and cordial welcome from the National Coast Guard of Mauritius. Indian Army's Sapta Shakti Command undertook major integrated fire and maneuver exercise named Sentinel Strike from October 28th to 30th at Mahajan Field firing ranges in Rajasthan's Thar Desert. In a major step towards eliminating Naxalism for the first time in over 25 years, residents of Chormara village in Bihar's Jamui district can now vote peacefully in their village after it was declared free of Naxal influence. And still to come on DD India Live. More details ahead as Storm Kalmaegi intensifies. Foreign ministers from several Muslim-majority countries met in Istanbul to discuss Gaza ceasefire. What happened? Stay with us to know more on it.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy. Always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. President Donald Trump alleged Sunday that countries including Russia and China have conducted underground nuclear tests unknown to the public and that the United States would follow suit. In an interview to CBS's 60 Minutes program on Sunday, Trump said that the US should not be the only country who does not test, adding North Korea to the list of nations allegedly testing their arsenals. Confusion has surrounded Trump's order that the United States begin testing, particularly if he meant conducting the country's first nuclear explosion since 1992. The announcement came after Russia said it has tested a new nuclear-powered cruise missile, the Burevestnik, the nuclear-powered and nuclear-capable underwater drone. Though China has denied testing nuclear weapons on Monday after US President Donald Trump alleged the country was among those to have conducted tests unknown to the public. China on Monday responded to warnings by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent that the U.S. could raise tariffs on China if it backtracks on rare earths. China's foreign ministry spokesperson said that the top priority is for both China and the U.S. to earnestly implement the important consensus.
Regarding China's rare earth export control policy, China's competent authorities have repeatedly stated their position. I believe the outcome of the China-US economic and trade talks in Kuala Lumpur fully demonstrates that dialogue and cooperation are the correct way to solve the problem, and threats and pressure will not help solve the problem. At present, I believe that the top priority is for both China and the US to earnestly implement the important consensus reached by the two heads of state during their meeting in Busan to inject more stability into China-US economic and trade cooperation and into the world economy.
Earlier on Sunday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warned that U.S. President Donald Trump's administration is prepared to raise tariffs on China if Beijing continues blocking rare earth exports. And also, the battle over resources, including rare earth elements, has been central to economic worries in the West, including in Germany, where analysts were paying close attention to last week's talks between U.S. President Trump and China's Xi Jinping. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Hi, Lars. What can you tell us about the deal the two leaders made? Lars.
Thanks for having me. Well, for now, the two leaders agreed to a truce, you could say, and that was welcomed immediately by markets around the world, of course, because we had been in a hot spot after the ongoing trade war of the past couple of months had recently escalated. Just as a reminder, the US under Trump had once again levied higher tariffs and an export ban for some high-tech chips against China, and that country, of course, retaliated by halting the export of some crucial resources, including rare earth elements. They halted the exports, mind you, to the US, but also to Europe. And that had immediately worried people here, as the German economy, much like others, doesn't have an alternative for those Chinese rare earths. So now Trump lowered US tariffs against China. China keeps exporting their resources, but that latter part for now has been agreed on for a year. So even though there is a deal between the two superpowers, it is not for all eternity.
All right, Lars, thank you so much. And U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on Monday arrived for a tour at South Korea's DMZ border with North Korea as part of his visit to South Korea. A military helicopter carrying Hegseth landed in a U.S. base near the DMZ's joint security area, where the Defense Secretary boarded a tour bus accompanied by South Korean Defense Minister Ahn Gyu-bak and other officials. The defense chiefs are scheduled to hold the annual security consultative meeting on Tuesday, the highest level forum where the two countries chart the course of their military alliance and South Korea's defense against nuclear-armed North Korea. South's defense ministry said that Hegseth and Ahn will discuss combined defense readiness against North Korea and cooperation on regional security and cyber and missile defense. Foreign ministers from several Muslim-majority countries met in Istanbul on Monday to discuss Gaza ceasefire, as Hamas and Israel trade accusations of violations and talks continue on forming a force to monitor the truce. As per Turkish officials, the foreign ministers of Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Pakistan and Indonesia joined the meeting to discuss the ceasefire and humanitarian situation in Gaza, and to also discuss the next stage of Trump's ceasefire deal and the formation of the planned international stabilization force. And tens of thousands of Sudanese civilians have fled 5 localities in North Kordofan, east of Darfur, as per the UN Migration Agency, estimating 36,825 people have been displaced since October 26. This follows the Rapid Support Forces, or the RSF, captured of Al Fasher last week after a 500-day siege, triggering over 62,000 displacements. There amid reports of mass executions, rapes and hospital killings, leaving over 450 dead. A weather radar graphic showed tropical storm Kalmegi intensifying on Monday as it moved closer to making landfall on the Philippines' eastern coast, prompting precautionary evacuations in coastal and low-lying communities. The storm packed winds of 120 kph and gusts up to 150 kph, moving west at 25 towards Visayas. Authorities expect landfall late on Monday as early Tuesday, with possible further strengthening. Evacuations began in flood and landslide prone areas, and fishermen were told to stay ashore due to rough seas. And let's take a look at what else is making news around the world. In Guatemala, families marked the Day of the Dead by raising colorful giant kites at cemeteries in Scatarepeques. The 19th century tradition connects families with their departed loved ones, wards off negative spirits, and symbolizes renewal. UNESCO added this kite festival to the Intangible Cultural Heritage List in 2024. In Mexico, cemeteries lit up with candles and marigolds as families welcomed back the spirits of their loved ones on the Day of the Dead. People placed food and offerings on graves, a tradition believed to guide the departed back home. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Prasar Bharati from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.